Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dive into the timeless wisdom of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, where you'll uncover the secrets to mastering the art of personal and professional relationships. This summary will guide you through the essential principles of effective communication, highlighting the power of appreciation over criticism and the importance of genuine interest in others. Learn from the successes of influential figures, like Charles Schwab's knack for management through praise, and Abraham Lincoln's understanding of the value of listening. By understanding these key insights, you'll discover how to foster deeper connections, resolve conflicts gracefully, and inspire cooperation and respect in your interactions. Get ready to transform how you build and nurture your relationships in a way that resonates with authenticity and empathy.
Praise over criticism. Picture Al Capone, the infamous gangster of mob violence and corruption. While the world saw him as a public menace, Capone saw himself as a benefactor, believing he was offering people enjoyment and only received hostility in return. This self-perception teaches us an important lesson. Like Capone, we all see ourselves as justified, regardless of our actions. This mindset makes accepting criticism from others profoundly challenging and personal. Criticism often puts people on the defensive and leads to grudges, regardless of its intentions. But, how can we encourage change without falling into the trap of criticism? Charles Schwab, a successful steel magnate, offers a compelling approach. Schwab's secret to success was minimal criticism and abundant praise. He believed in recognizing the good in people, understanding that everyone desires to feel valued and appreciated. Schwab found that sincere praise not only motivated individuals to work harder and excel but also nurtured healthier, warmer relationships. This philosophy is powerful. A few words of appreciation can achieve what criticism never could. In essence, if you wish to inspire and cultivate change, focus on the positive. Instead of criticism, which often backfires, praise can be the gentle nudge that leads to growth. The energy and warmth conveyed through appreciation propel people to perform their best and transform relationships. Schwab's legacy reveals that success, be it personal or professional, thrives in an environment of encouragement and recognition rather than criticism and complaint. Connect with authenticity. Imagine arriving home after a long day, and your puppy rushes to greet you, tail wagging with uncontainable joy. This undeniable affection is why dogs are such cherished companions. They make us feel special. There's a lesson here for building human connections effortlessly. When interacting with others, focus less on being interesting and more on showing genuine interest. People are naturally drawn to those who pay attention to them and their stories. To win someone's goodwill, express genuine happiness when you meet them. Smile warmly, greet them with enthusiasm, and strive to remember and use their name during conversations. This approach signals that you value their presence and enjoy their company. Moreover, it's essential to make others feel important. Consider the story of a landscaping inspector at a seminar who complimented a client's dogs. His sincere interest in the client's passion for breeding led to a lengthy, engaging discussion. This mutual respect not only fostered a strong professional bond but also resulted in the client gifting him a valuable purebred puppy. By demonstrating heartfelt interest in others, this simple gesture unlocked unexpected and rewarding experiences. Ultimately, the key to successful interactions is to prioritize the people you engage with by valuing their opinions and passions. In doing so, you cultivate meaningful relationships that often come with surprising and delightful rewards. The listening edge. In an era rife with challenges, like the American Civil War, even President Abraham Lincoln knew the power of listening. An anecdote tells of Lincoln calling an old neighbor to the White House, not for advice, but to simply have someone to listen as he deliberated over the emancipation of enslaved people. The neighbor's presence helped Lincoln navigate complex decisions, underscoring the invaluable role of a good listener. Reflecting on this story reveals a universal truth: everyone has a penchant for speaking about their own experiences, but few truly listen. Genuine listening, however, is a rare gift that can forge deeper connections. If your goal is to win hearts and make a lasting impression, focus less on sharing your own stories and more on inviting others to express theirs. Ask open-ended questions that draw out others' interests and experiences. For instance, the new colleague at work may appreciate being asked about their hobbies or how they're adapting to the new environment. This approach was famously used by Theodore Roosevelt, who made it a point to engage people by discussing topics they were passionate about. Before important meetings, he would familiarize himself with his guests' interests to ensure a relevant and engaging conversation. While you need not go to the same lengths as Roosevelt, mere attentiveness and a readiness to share conversational space can transform interactions. By adopting the listening edge, you'll start recognizing the subtle impact it has. As you give others the floor, friendships will naturally bloom, and soon enough, engaging and drawing people out becomes a breeze. After all, attentive listening is not just polite, it's the cornerstone of lasting relationships. Winning arguments wisely. When faced with an inevitable argument, stay calm and use a gentle approach to persuade others. Don't get caught up in trying to defeat your opponent with facts, logical traps, or by pointing out their mistakes. Winning in such a way only breeds resentment and prevents genuine agreement. Instead, aim to avoid outright arguments when possible, and if that's not feasible, never bluntly declare someone else to be wrong. This tactic only entrenches them further in their beliefs. To truly steer someone toward your point of view, engage them in a friendly, inquisitive manner. Lead dialogues with an openness to being wrong, saying, "I could be wrong, let's examine the facts." This humility often disarms resistance and invites constructive discussion. If proven wrong, embrace it with humility and admit your error early on. Such behavior diffuses tension and encourages others to approach disagreements more softly. Should you discover you're correct, resist the temptation to gloat. Instead, humility is key in such moments, as emphasizing another's error can deter them from accepting a new perspective. Winning an argument is not about proving superiority but rather about fostering mutual understanding and growth. Mastering persuasion. Convincing others can be an art form, one that Socrates, the ancient philosopher, mastered through his insightful technique of persuasion. He understood the power of getting people to say yes from the outset. By framing his conversations around universally agreeable statements, he nurtured an affirmative mindset in his audience, gradually leading them toward accepting his more challenging ideas. This method teaches us that creating consensus early on is crucial. A negative response is difficult to reverse, as people naturally defend their publicly declared beliefs to protect their reputation and perceived intelligence. To navigate these psychological barriers, encourage others to believe they've reached your conclusions independently. Guide the conversation with questions that subtly steer them in the desired direction, effectively allowing them to discover insights on their own. This technique not only enhances a sense of independence but also avoids the perception of being directive. Colonel Edward M. House exemplified this strategy during Woodrow Wilson's presidency. Instead of directly advising Wilson, House would casually weave his suggestions into discussions. Eventually, these ideas would resonate with Wilson to the extent that he believed they were his own creations. House never corrected this misconception, understanding the innate preference people have for adopting their own ideas over those seemingly imposed by others. In essence, the key to persuasive success lies in fostering an environment where others can implicitly agree with you and arrive at conclusions that feel inherently theirs. By adopting Socrates' method, you make persuasion not just about winning agreement but also about empowering others, leaving them convinced they have synthesized the idea themselves. Power of perspective. Winning friends and influencing people goes beyond convincing others of your perspective, it requires embracing theirs as well. Consider the story of Jay Mangum, who faced a pressing challenge as a representative of an elevator maintenance company. He needed to organize repairs at a busy hotel, knowing it would require a full day, whereas the hotel manager insisted on a mere 2-hour shutdown to avoid guest inconvenience. Instead of arguing about the improbability of rushing the repairs, Jay empathized with the manager's priority to satisfy guests. He explained that delaying the work could lead to even more extended future disruptions. Understanding the manager's core desire ultimately led to securing agreement for the necessary 8-hour shutdown. Jay's success highlights the virtue of looking through the lenses of others to navigate difficult situations. This approach not only resolves conflicts like the one Jay faced but also fosters goodwill and earns favor. Many times, offering a simple, heartfelt acknowledgement of another's concerns is all it takes to diffuse tension. When someone knows they are being heard and understood, when told, "I completely understand where you're coming from, I'd feel the same in your shoes," bridges are built. Moreover, developing sympathy for others is mutually beneficial. Not only does it bring comfort to them, but it also helps you manage your own frustration and impatience. By delving into the reasons behind people's actions, you'll discover a tolerance for behaviors that might previously have exasperated you. Thus, next time someone's actions press your buttons, pause and try to perceive their reasoning. Why might your colleague be underperforming? What compassionate actions could support them in returning to productivity? Though practicing empathy is not always an easy path, it's often better than letting anger lead. It's about recognizing that setting high expectations encourages people to rise to them. Extending understanding positively impacts both you and those around you, promoting harmony and cooperation. Power of praise. Ruth Hopkins, a fourth-grade teacher from Brooklyn, New York, faced an unexpected challenge on the first day of school. Tommy, the school's most notorious troublemaker, joined her class. Known for his intelligence yet notorious disobedience, Tommy was a thorn in his previous teacher's side. Ruth, however, had a different approach. During introductions, she praised each student, and when it got to Tommy's turn, she looked him in the eye and called him a natural-born leader, making it clear she was counting on him to help make her classroom the top class that year. This subtle yet profound expectation set by Ruth transformed Tommy. With a stellar reputation to live up to, his conduct and performance improved significantly, blending his smartness with newfound discipline. Ruth's strategy reveals the transformative power of praise. Humans thrive on admiration and are driven not to let down those who believe in us. By commending others, we reward their current behavior and set high expectations for their future endeavors. It's about projecting desirable traits onto a person, which they then strive to embody. Encouraging a child to be generous by lauding her for her sharing spirit can naturally mold her into a more giving individual. A similar technique was employed by Dr. Martin Fitzhugh, a dentist who faced declining cleanliness standards in his office. After receiving a complaint about a dirty metal cup holder, he chose not to reprimand his cleaner. Instead, he penned a gracious note, appreciating her diligence and casually mentioned the option of extra pay for occasional tasks like cup holder cleaning. This approach prompted a remarkable improvement in her work, without the need for overtime. By expressing genuine gratitude and trust in her capabilities, Dr. Fitzhugh inspired his cleaner to maintain high standards effortlessly. Praising others isn't just generous, it's a sharp, effective strategy to ensure a continuous effort toward betterment. Cultivate this habit of commendation, paired with other insights from Dale Carnegie's teachings, and you'll find building new friendships and enhancing existing relationships becomes an easier and more rewarding endeavor.
In How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie outlines transformative strategies for fostering genuine human connections and influencing others positively. The core lessons revolve around avoiding criticism, showing sincere appreciation, and taking a genuine interest in others' lives and viewpoints. By creating a positive atmosphere through praise and understanding perspectives like Jay Mangum's, you can motivate others and ease tensions. Furthermore, by employing gentle persuasion techniques and valuing the ideas of others, as Socrates did, you create a collaborative environment that people naturally gravitate towards. Implementing these techniques can elevate personal and professional relationships, as well as cultivate an atmosphere that encourages mutual respect and admiration. The principles within this book are timeless, offering a roadmap to lasting and meaningful interactions in everyday life.